few aspects of what she mentioned with Yash data. But meanwhile, Ramesh, can you throw a little bit of insights into that period when it's not an injury which happened while running, I mean, happened while running, but not due to running. So that is a slightly different kind of injury, but obviously as a runner, falling in love with running and as a passion, something like that happens. What went through and how did you deal with it? And what are the few things that you would suggest people like us to tide over that period?
But my injury was, you can call it, basically a fracture, full-blown fracture of my lower leg, both bones, tibia and fibula, both broke in half. And they had an immediate surgery and they put a rod and a plate, a rod for the big bone tibia and a plate for the smaller one, the fibula. So of course my wife, what she told the doctor just before the surgery was he's a runner, and of course he knew it already that I was a runner because I was taken from my run to the hospital barefoot in a singlet and barely their shorts. So they knew this guy was anyway, either drunk, either a complete drunkard or some crazy runner. So one of those. So what they did thankfully was they used a titanium rod instead of a normal steel rod that they would use for my big bone there. But what went through in the following period was, that's what I keep telling everyone, they have to go to a doctor or especially a surgeon for anything, is a doctor's, especially a surgeon's job ends with the surgery. And he's done and he has fixed you, but what happens to you after that, the person who helps you will be a physio. He's the one who will get you back to your normal self, your normal athlete that you are. But most people still don't realize that and still refer the doctors and what can the doctor help me with? That's not really what the real source is. Really, it's your physio and other people in that area who will be able to do a better job and get you back on your feet, literally. For me, what happened again was the most important thing that I did was to stay positive, I guess. I just didn't do anything except follow the orders of the doctor and the physio. I didn't do any gimmicks, really like any heroics of trying to run when they asked me to barely walk or use one foot, use weight on one foot. Or I didn't try to throw away my crutches and try to do a Superman or anything. I just followed the orders pretty much to the T. But thankfully, I was injured a lot less. I felt I was injured a lot less in its intensity when I started actually running, because I started running in about 6 weeks after I would say not 6 weeks, maybe about 2 months after the injury. I was able to start running, and I said, okay, if I were to just stay in this business of running, long distance running, I probably have to do a marathon, put a goal to myself and go run a race that I had signed up for before I had gotten injured, which was Mumbai Marathon. That was, I got injured in August of 2012, and the Mumbai Marathon, which was in January, was my target after that. I said, I'm going to run it. Come hell or high water, I'm going to run it. So I ran it, and it was not an easy experience. It was painful, but the good thing was I ran it slower than any other run I had run before that, but I was able to enjoy it a lot more because I ran it a lot slower, because I was still within my comfort zone in terms of my breathing and or my anaerobic phase. So it was a lot easier for me to run it, and I enjoyed it a lot more, even though I was in pain in terms of my leg. It was, again, although I said I did follow the doctors and physio's orders, it was, that particular run was against my doctors and physio's advices, but I did it anyway. So basically, to stay positive is the best recovery, I think, as an individual we can do, because if we think that researching on the internet, looking at other people's experiences will help us, I would say probably not. If you want to actually gain the knowledge from internet and other people's experiences, try to stay within the realm of positivity again. See, looking at people who actually improved, not looking at the people who actually said, oh, that killed my career, or that was it for me. I mean, please don't see that side of the story and weep and sit and weep and say, I'm done. No, that's not going to help. So that's one thing that I keep saying myself also. I mean, as you get older, especially at my age, you just cannot. I mean, say, yeah, in your 40s you're done. I mean, your life is done. Forget your athletic life. Your life is done at 40. That's our attitude that we have, right? I mean, oh yeah, now you just sit at home and watch your kids grow and help them out when you can, and that's your life. I mean, no, come on. I mean, that's not. I mean, 40s are the new 20s, right? And so you start your life then, and you do stay positive. Injuries happen. That's part of life. Injuries happen because of stupidity. Injuries happen because of genuine workouts that you actually do, genetic issues, some other things, like in my case, an external factor. I mean, such things happen, but it's basically about what you do after that. And of course, before that, when you do your best to prevent them, but if for some reason it does indeed happen, what you can do to fix it? It's not like, you just hell with it and say, I'm not going to run anymore, or I'm not going to swim anymore. That's not the attitude that you want to take. You want to strengthen your mind as much as you want to strengthen your body. So that's basically the long answer. Sorry.
It's wonderful insights, because not many people get to hear what Ramesh has to say. He's normally a quiet person. Glad that he opened up today. And incidentally, when he ran the full marathon after 2 months of that injury, he did it close around 4 hours.
Yeah.
And then I met him the next year or the year after that with the same rod, and he managed to do it in 3 hours 14 minutes, 1-4. So tremendous willpower there. Having heard that, Yash, a lot of questions, especially amongst newbies, people who start to run, even veterans, people who have ran for years. You have these odd injuries which keep coming. I have friends who just start running in the 3rd kilometer, they already have a niggle. And as novices, like Nisha said, we are all amateurs. We have never ever competed at the highest level. So what do we do? I mean, what does a newbie do when you have those niggles, pains? When do you step back? More from a objective viewpoint, and when do you actually go to the physio? Because I also have seen today with physios, good physios around, you have this tendency to go to the physio with the slightest of the niggles. Not necessarily bad, but you may want to touch upon that as well.
So it's not only the new guys who are getting into running will get injured, but also the guys who's been running over a period of time due to repeated trauma, which we commonly call as repeated stress injuries, which is not a very high intensity injury, but it keeps happening over a period of time due to small, bits of trauma over a period of time. So somebody who's new into running, he's never done that activity before, he has to gradually start doing it. You cannot just wear your shoes one day and give all out and then collapse at the end of the day. You have to go gradual. If you think you're having pain, I mean, I've heard people saying that, keep pushing through pain, but you need to know which pain you have to push into. If your lungs is coming out of your mouth, that's okay. You're not going anywhere unless you have an underlying heart condition or something. If you're getting sore the next day, you've done a heavy workout, you're sore, that's okay. That's the normal physiology of the body. That is going to happen. But you need to know which is normal and which is not normal. You need to know if the pain that you're getting is because of injury or just because of a general physiology, that what you did the day before. Somebody who's new into running, I would always recommend, even before they start doing something, if they're really serious about, somebody who's serious about doing a half marathon or full marathon, even though it's a long way to go, you start with the 5Ks, short runs, but make sure you see a health professional who can do an assessment on you, find out your form of running, find out if you have any imbalances in your body, find out if you are prevalent to any injuries in the future. I mean, that doesn't mean that, he's going to tell you, okay, this is weak and this is tight and you need to start working this, you have done it, and you're never going to get injured. Injury will always be a part and parcel of any sport that you play, but that way at least you can minimize it. And it's not bad even if you have a small niggle to go and see somebody, you at least, taking care of it, making sure that it doesn't turn out into a big problem. Because a lot of times there's a small problem, people say, oh, don't worry, keep pushing, it'll go away, it's just a temporary thing. Yeah, a few times it can. If it's just a soreness kind of a situation, it will go away, your body will get used to it. But a lot of times it can turn out to be a bigger problem. So you need to know, you need to see health professionals' advice as to what is to be done. I have a lot of patients who come to me like with injuries, with minor niggles. When I see a situation that, if he runs, he's going to probably damage that structure more, I'll ask him, try and stop it. If I feel, okay, it's just a tightness related thing, there's nothing major, just you started running because you're feeling something, so I'll ask him, do these things and keep running. There's no need to stop. The max that would happen is you'll get sore, that's it. It's not that you're going to break something, you're going to tear something. That's not the thing. So yeah, it's always important to see somebody who can help you find out whether the injuries is just a minor thing, major thing, what could be the prognosis of the injuries. Try not to become a doctor yourself by searching on Google, which most of us do it. It's okay to see something, if you sprain your ankle, you go Google what to do first step. Okay, ice it. That's good. What's next? Then of course you have to go and see somebody, right? So yeah, if there's a small thing or a big thing, doesn't matter. If you think it's just happening over a period of time, if you've given a couple of days rest and he wants to ask.
Yeah, we'll get the round of questions.
Yeah, so see something, because I always keep saying listen to your body. If your body is telling you something, listen to it. You give a break. Sometimes just giving break wouldn't help. Somebody goes to an ortho, he says, okay, rest for 2 weeks because they can't do anything more than that. So, okay, rest for 2 weeks. If you come back, what happens? The pain is there again. Rest for 8 weeks. The pain is still there. Then what? You got to do something for it. It's not going to go away like that. So yeah, listen to your body always.
Trying to ask a few quick questions. It's not a quick repartee kind of session, but keep your answers to a short 30 seconds, and then we'll take some audience questions. Is that okay? So starting with Nisha, any pre-race day activity or ritual that you used to do and you still do, for example today?
Well, of course, my favorite, which is carbo loading. So lots of carbs. Reshma and me have taken it to another level and done it the whole week so that we are sufficiently energized for the run. But I don't really have too many superstitions, but I'm quite a minimalist, so whether it's swimming or running, I don't like to have too many gadgets. I don't even like to wear a sun cap when I run. Obviously, I'm just doing a half marathon, so I probably won't need it. So I actually swam the Olympics without goggles. So I pretty much, if I could swim without a cap as well, I would do that. But so I like as little as possible, because sometimes all this extra stuff like goggles, the reason I don't wear it is sometimes when you dive in, water fills in and you can't see it and it disrupts your whole race. So I like to leave nothing to chance. So same way with running, we should probably start trying barefoot running as well, But other than that, I don't like eating heavy before a race. Just something very, very light. Of course, I like my music. So whether it's before or during, obviously we can't swim with music, but I always listen to my earphones, help calm me down.
Thank you, Nisha. How about you, Ramesh? You run a lot of marathons, but I know that you also look at certain runs as races. So probably those races, what do you do the previous day?
Well, a simple simple thing on the day before the race that we all could follow is get rest, right? And a good sleep. Well, typically the night before the race, the sleep was probably not that great anyway, because you have to wake up early and probably hydrate yourself a lot, and you probably want to take a few trips to the bathroom, all that. But the one thing that I feel is interesting that I heard from a world-renowned coach, actually, I think it was Halligan or Jeff Galloway, one of them said that on race day at the start, we see all these race finish pictures where we all have our arms up and hands up and we'll all be all excited. Well, what they were saying was, why don't you do that at the start? Because that activity actually raises your adrenaline. So what they were saying is, at the start line, when you stand line up at the start line, raise your arms and stand straight up, saying, "Oh, I'm going to do this," and that actually pumps in a lot of adrenaline. Supposedly, that will actually get you through the first few miles. That's what I was told, and apparently that works because I've been doing that for a few races. But otherwise, like Vijay asked, the typical racing that I do some races slow, some races as races. I try to get a lot of rest at least the day before that, and try to carbo load, but not for the whole week. Again, carbo loading is a controversial term, but it's still
some other day.
Yeah, it's still a debatable item for a lot of people. So, but generally speaking, that's what I do.
Can you in a minute explain what a deep tissue massage does to your body while training? Because that's something which I have experienced and a lot of people are getting into.
I would actually talk about the week before a competition rather than just the previous day, wherein you're not trying anything new, nothing crazy, just follow what you've been doing. I always advise a pre-race massage. Of course, it has to be a post-race also, but a sports massage which is meant to loosen up your body because of all the training that you've done, your muscles are being tight, joints are stiff. You do not want to enter a competition with all that load in your body. So you want to be as light as possible and as fresh as possible when you're entering. Somebody who's not used to undergo sports massage, it's a painful thing. So you don't want to do it a day before, probably give a couple of days, 3 days back. So if there's a soreness or anything, your body is recovered. So that's how it's going to be. A day before, I usually, as Ramesh said, good sleep. If you can get an 8-hour sleep, that would be great. Hydrate as much as possible as you can. It can be simple water, coconut water, a lot of products, but Vijay into all these products you can use. Pre-race stuff you can use. Some gels. All the professional athletes I know, everybody uses gel. So, a lot of people keep asking whether I should. It's good for the body. It's nothing but sugar. So you need sugar for the run. So you want to have that. If you want to eat early morning something, it's always advisable to have a small piece of sandwich, just a peanut butter sandwich. That helps you to release energy over a period of time where you actually need it. So that's a good routine you can follow.
The last sort of question. Any running goals, Nisha, after the half marathon? You can reveal not tomorrow's goals, but maybe a short-term goal.
I started running mainly to get fit and to lose weight. But now I think I really want to push myself in terms of timing. So once I see how fast I run tomorrow, I think I'm going to set myself a tougher target because I don't want to give up on running. And I can definitely fit in about 3 sessions of running a week. But I feel like a combo of running and swimming is really good. So I feel when I get into the water post-run, I really feel really recovered after that. So I'm going to keep that going. And that's about it. One day I run a full marathon. One day. I'm not giving no date.
Yeah, incidentally, Nisha has won close to around 500 gold medals in different. So somewhere I read that 500 gold medals in different levels of competition. So if she gets serious in running, you know what you can do to other runners. Ramesh, I know you don't reveal too much in terms of your goals, but anything that you would like to do in the next year or two in terms of running goals?
Well, I don't really have any real goals. That's why I don't reveal anything, because I don't really have any. But I usually take it as it comes. And I did try, a couple of times before, I did try to get to a sub-3 marathon. And in fact, I tried to qualify for Boston. That was my goal. And once I did that, I thought I'll push it to the next one. So that was a sub-3. So hopefully that, one of these days I'll set that goal and, like I said, buckle down and train. That might happen.
Great. The question to Yash is different. I don't know. Yash, do you run? Do you run at all?
5K.
5K. The question to him is, when are you doing a first half marathon?
I'm not sure if I start getting time, if my patients keep getting less injured. One day I will. And right now my main aim is to keep all my runners healthy so that they achieve their own time, rather than timing myself.
So at the end of the year, if one were to ask Yash, what is your mileage? He would probably count the mileage that all his runners have done, and he would probably answer in 1 million miles, 1 million kilometers. Yeah? Great. So we will quickly go on to questions. A few questions. It will take 10 minutes. We are almost on time, so not too bad. But I know there are a lot of questions. Anyone?
This is to Yash and probably anyone else. Cramps. What is your take on that? I normally end up with cramps almost every day. So is there anything which can help us avoid that or at least minimize it?
Well, I've got a lot of runners who tell me that they keep getting cramps, but I don't know in real terms they actually get cramps or it's just a muscle fatigue that builds up in one group of muscle. Because usually if you're dehydrated, you're less in electrolyte in your body, you will get cramp, but it's not going to get restricted to just one calf or one quads. It has to come a full body. So, I've seen a lot of cases of full body cramps wherein it's like a dying situation. You can't speak, you're just yelling and shouting, and it's like doing a surgery without anesthesia. It's that painful. So, first thing you have to hydrate. You need to, a lot of times, no book says this, but a lot of time I've seen tightness in the muscles can also lead to cramps. That's one thing. You want to do a very good warm-up. And when I say warm-up, it has to be a dynamic warm-up, not just a simple run. If a tennis player has to warm up, he doesn't go play tennis. He'll do something before playing tennis and then he gets into tennis. So even a runner has to do something a little more dynamic, then get into running, then do a high intensity running. That should be the usual form. One of the latest research says that trying chilies can help you prevent cramps. So I don't know if you want to try that one.
Can you do that discussion of chilies?
Well, no. I had all I can say is there's a couple of things that I've noticed about cramps that both from my research as well as experiences with other people. Thankfully I've never had cramps in spite of running so many miles. There's a latest study from Dr. Alex Hutchinson. He's a world-renowned endurance athletics researcher. His finding was cramps have nothing to do with electrolytes. Cramps have nothing to do with your sodium level or potassium level or anything. He says that's just bogus. But what he said is the fatigue that you experience can be what your race week was like. That could determine whether or not you could get cramps. Because if you are actually not, just like Yash said, if your muscles are tight for whatever activity that you're doing during the race week, whether it is just standing on your feet all day, Expo, as an example, it is a good candidate to give you a reason for cramps. Now, the other thing that I just read again on the net about cramps is spicy food actually helps you not get cramps. So spicy, they said now they're in the West, of course, in US they try all sorts of stuff. So they have this magic potion after every sprints and stuff that they actually get strides and stuff like that people are put through. and they give this spicy solution that has like a soup with hot peppers and stuff like that. Apparently, people swear by them, saying, "Oh, I never get cramps since I started this thing." So maybe that's an experiment you can try.
The disclaimer is that none of us are nutritionists.
Normally for me it's either because I've not hydrated well enough for my longer races when I used to swim the 1500 meter races, and also when I do the backstroke events where your foot's always plantar flexed towards. So I was just telling Vijay, Fast&Up and other hydration brands were there. We only had Gatorade in those days, and we were taught how to hydrate well, but we didn't do it. So in Australia they actually test your urine. I was working with the Australian Institute of Sport. So throughout your training, they tested it, and this is normal training which I've done for years. And almost every time I did it, they'd come back saying that I was dehydrated. So obviously, they in Australia nowadays they've started making it very clear that by the end of your 2.5-hour training session, you have to finish your entire 1 liter bottle. Water or electrolytes, but you have to scull the whole bottle by the end of the session. So definitely very important to keep hydrated, stretch well, but I think also it's a lot to do with experience also. I think you find a lot of the more amateur runners probably getting a lot of cramps as well.
Thanks, Veera. My question is to Yash. Yash, we have been into running for so many years, 8-9 years rather. Of late, we have seen the trend of, when we started running 9-10 years back, the number of marathons used to be very less, half marathons, like we had a gap of recovering rather. Nowadays, you have every other weekend, I'm from Bombay, every other weekend we have almost a race of every other weekend. So, I just wanted to ask you, there is at some times we know this is a race pace. So tomorrow, like if I'm doing it to 10 to 15, that is my race pace. And then obviously I have to give easy pace for a couple of other events. But we see lot of youngsters doing a race pace almost every week. So what is your take on that? Because we also do lot of talks and other thing in Bombay. So I wanted to know an expert advice on what it is. Thanks.
Do tennis players also take some easy matches? Days off?
That's their bread and butter, so they cannot afford to, unless they get a walkover. So it all depends on your body, how your body can take it. There are people doing 10 marathons a year, there are people focusing only on 2. Because somebody who feels that if he does full-on high intensity in one, he cannot be ready for the next until 3 or 4 months. There are people doing a marathon every weekend, a lot of them I know. Could be a race pace, could be a easy one, but yeah, somebody who's really young, he's got a lot of energy, recovery in the body is fast, you can afford to do more races, but of course, as I said, listen to your body. You cannot do more races in a year and then end up resting the next year. So, and yeah, somebody who's running for 9 years, you know how your body is, how your body feels, how you feel after a marathon. If you're collapsing at the end point, at the finish line every time you run a marathon, you still need to build up, you still need to, next day you're going to be sore, you need to recover, how much time your body would take, to achieve that state. And again, next week or second week onwards, you will start training again for something new. Your body will tell you how much effort you are putting in and how much is showing up in your training. So there is no set parameters or protocol to, you should do these many runs in a year or how much should be the gap. It's all how your body can take it. If your body tells, it's giving you indication if you've done one, the second one is pretty too soon, you're feeling some aches and pain, that means a little, you need to give a little more time for the recovery. Also, how much recovery sessions you're doing in between. Are you doing anything for recovery or it's just race to race, nothing. Then again, you'll have to push a little more forward.
Can anyone of you throw some light on nutrition as such in terms of running, CrossFit, if you're doing multiple activities? So just because we find a lot of diets being thrown around, zone diet, keto, etc. But in general, what works, at least what has worked for you in terms of nutrition? Yeah.
When we were training, we always followed a 40-30-30. The 40 carbohydrates, 30% protein, 30% fat. Also because I did longer distance swimming and 16 kilometers every day, you need that fat as well. You know, my weight never fluctuated for 15 years. I could eat anything. I could eat pizzas, corner house ice creams, which is why unfortunately when I stopped, it was very tough for me, to cut down. But I don't think, I personally wouldn't advise. My husband did keto for a long time and he tried to also do CrossFit and he just failed miserably. He was just exhausted and grumpy. So I don't think if you're doing only that on its own, it's fine. But when you're already doing a tough thing like cross training or running or training for a marathon, I think it's a balanced diet is just the best way to go. And that also means having some fats, preferably some healthy fats. So even me, I eat a lot of junk food, must be honest. And now I'm just trying to incorporate more vegetables and fruits and try to do more of the healthy fats, a lot of nuts, a lot of avocado. It's very, very tough to have everybody's, here who's got families, jobs, other things to do as well. So I think for me, what's worked is, because I do 3 sessions or 2 sessions a day, I just eat at very regular intervals. So every 2 hours I make sure I have something. That gets me through the day. Otherwise I find that I just overdo it. If I have just 3 meals, I tend to overeat. So I eat all the wrong stuff, whatever I can get my hands on. So now every 2 hours I try and make sure I have some food. So I feel it's pretty good.
Thank you, Nisha. So been 1 hour and 10 minutes. Time has just zipped fast. We could probably talk on and on for a few more hours, but all good things have to come to a stop. And so thank you very much, Yash, Ramesh, and Nisha. It's been fabulous getting all of them together. It's unbelievable for me as a person. But it's been a nice session. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts.